What's up, Cal fans? We are back with another episode of the California Golden Bearcast Special Edition, Gold Tweets. Tweet, tweet. We are, of course, a proud partner of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. This is where we answer questions from the fans. We got our technology back working well, and we are sharing our screen, Rob. Look at this. I can actually see the tweets.
Yep.
Damn, it is nice to have working internet.
It is. Well, and a mic that's not staticky.
Hey, can't take it for granted. Cannot take it for granted.
Cannot take it for granted. Yeah, that's the one thing we learned. Never take anything for granted. Yeah, I had a nightmare of like, oh my god, what if this had happened while we were trying to record with Ron? I would have died.
Oh, I had the same thought.
Yeah, dude. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God the world works in mysterious ways where it didn't happen until our first game. All right, let's go through the golden tweets. We got our first one from, Calgorithm's very own Callie Wake. Receivers need to catch the ball or get benched. We could have put so many more points on the board if we would have just caught the damn ball.
Is this the new slogan?
Catch the damn ball?
Catch the damn ball.
What was our old one with damn? It was, run the damn ball, Jake.
Run the damn ball. Yep.
Yeah. Catch the damn ball. Yeah, you might be right. That might be the next one.
Did you feel, what was your perspective on the Southern game? Did you feel like the drops were as much of a thing?
It definitely were. They definitely were. I was hoping that, the Oregon State drops were just like jitters, first game jitters on the road with a new quarterback, maybe just timing's a little bit off and so on. But it's trending into an issue. I wouldn't say it's a full issue yet, but it is trending in that way. Like I'm looking at the stats right now. I'm looking at this doesn't show you targets. That's the thing. I don't think it shows you drops. But yeah, it's I'd say I'm starting to worry a bit. I still think there's time to fix it, but if it's not fixed, I think by Boston College, like heading into that game, then it might be a problem the rest of the year.
I sure hope not.
What about you?
It's tough. Look, when you're on tape, it's tough to see as much of like the drops the same way when you're watching it live. You just don't experience the emotion the same way. I'm just watching play, bang, 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 bang. And so like drops hurt, but it's not like, the first week the drops really, I felt them in my soul. And I think because you're living and dying on every play, right? It's like when you're watching on tape, I'm just, it sucks. This is a cop-out answer, but like it's the reality is like I watched it after I knew the outcome of the game. So I'm not living and dying on that play as much. So I think I have a little bit more of a relaxed reaction to it. But I guarantee you, if it happens on Saturday, I'm not going to have any relaxed reaction to it.
You're going to be guns blazing.
Yeah, there's no way. So, yeah. It's still too early for me to call it an issue. And I do think I see here that we have a question, I think, from Tyler that also relates to this. So I don't want to give away the answer too much. But I will say, Callie, we will come back to this.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to Sid for now. Sid says, slow start and not as tight as last week in terms of penalties. But what did you think about Harson's play calling? No, we need to keep it tight to the chest for right now as we get to the quote-unquote real test Saturday. See you all there.
What did you think?
I think we kind of covered it in our previous podcast, right? Because we were talking about what we thought that they were trying to accomplish in this. And if our read into what they were trying to accomplish was right, then I think he was calling the right plays. Because ultimately we won. And ultimately, in the second half, we controlled time of possession, and we killed the clock, and they had no shot at getting back into the game. For you?
Yeah. I'm with Sid. I'm with Sid. Sounds like we're going to see her on Saturday, so that's fun. And I mean, I don't know. It's really hard. It does feel like we tightened up the playbook a little bit. And then maybe we just wanted to see if we could establish the run game, but part of me I would have loved to have seen us like run it up to 50 or 60 if we could, and I think we'll see what San Diego State looks like. Like we have another opportunity outside, like beyond Minnesota, to actually do that again before we go like full ACC mode. So, I hope that was the case. I just don't know if I always understand that. I do get like the big flashy plays, not wanting to show it, but maybe we truly were able to look past an opponent, but I don't love that as a practice.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all understand the gamesmanship reason behind it, but it's just like you also are struggling to get fans in the building, and what better way to do that than to, kind of open it up and trust your guys to make the plays and, get your fan base hyped a little bit with another home game the following week against a tougher opponent. But, that's just us fans and our wishful thinking. Okay. We'll move on to the next one. So I guess we're continuing that conversation that Callie gave us, but Tyler sends us, how much does ball spin throwing style from a lefty play into the drops, if at all? I think both of us can kind of talk to this, but like from the guys I've talked to, it's throwing style's not big of an issue because you're gonna have to adjust to guys that quarterbacks because they throw at different arm angles because they're just trying to get you the ball, right? So that's not the part that you have to adjust to, but the ball spin definitely does, particularly on deeper throws, because the arc slightly changes from what you expect. So if you're running a go route and you're on the right side and you're looking over your left shoulder, the ball might cross over your horizon plane a little bit sooner than you might think, or it might not cross your horizon plane, like your vertical horizon plane, before. And so it's just an adjustment of like your eyes are just so used to maybe a righty throwing the ball where you kind of know how to track it, because you're going to look up at the ball, you're going to look down at where you're running, you're going to look back up to track it and so on. So there's a little bit of that. And then also having talked to our dear friend Jesse, who is a wide receiver coach out in Anna, Texas, he did mention something about when the ball lands in your hands, because the ball is, the rotations on these balls when they throw them are so high. So much like baseball, like when the moment the ball touches your hands, it spins off in another direction. So you're just not used to the direction the ball is going to spin off of your hands ever so slightly, despite how sticky those gloves are, as Andy has mentioned in previous podcasts. So just some couple adjustments like that. But
there's no way I answer it better than that, Rob. That was like so well said. I just gonna say end of question, end of answer. That's so good. That's exactly right. So it's real. Like lefty righty is very real. Yeah. So I do think, Tyler, it's legit. Like that's a real
even
thing.
Andy, like if you don't mind, like speaking to you and you're like tennis playing, when you play against a lefty versus a righty, like even just the top, like a topspin hit just is going to come off differently than you expect it to, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, especially on serve.
Yeah.
So the lefty serve is completely opposite of what you would. So now all of a sudden the ball is spinning. Essentially, if I'm a right-handed player, it's spinning into my backhand instead of spinning into my forehand, right? So if you're hitting a slice or a topspin serve on a lefty, that's now topspin into my backhand instead of being topspin away into my forehand. So like, yeah, it's complicated, and like lefty slice is different than righty. So it's a good analogy, Rob. It really is. I'm trying to think of just like, in general of playing, we just don't experience it. I think that's what you said was so good is like the revolutions or the spin being, and like Jaren throws a great ball. Like when we say he spins it like that, he spins it. So that's also going to contribute to making it a little bit more difficult to catch. So again, I'm optimistic that this is something that can just be worked on and is going to work itself out over the first few games of the season.
Yeah, I mean, how long has it been since Jaren's been named the starter? What, 2 weeks now? 3 weeks now, right? So
yes,
all of that, if you include all of that, these wide receivers have only throwing exclusively with Jaren for like 3 weeks. And your point, I think, in the podcast that people will never listen to, was about you can't simulate real game snaps and real game speed because you're not going to go at 100. Well, you're going to try to go at 100, but even wide receivers, like, you're not going to go at 100 because, you know, the DBs aren't going at 100 as you would in a real game because you're trying to save yourself from injury, both for the defensive back and for yourself. So now you're doing it in real time, and so of course there's going to be some time for adjustments, and you're only getting 30 passes. How many times did he throw this week? He threw 38 times. So amongst 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys, including running backs. So you're not getting that many reps in catching passes with him in real game time. You know, you can play catch with him, after games, but it's not the same as a defensive player trying to kill you. So it'll take some time. All right, next one from Golden Bears. Not a question, but like to hear both of your thoughts on the game day experience and what improvements you would like to see to it moving forward. Well, you haven't been to a game day yet.
I mean, I love this. I didn't even know people actually enjoyed hearing us talk about this piece. So, I mean, we can always talk. I mean, of course, it depends on which piece you all want to hear us talk about more, whether it's like overall vibes and experience before getting to the stadium. I think overall with the stadium, what keeps happening over the years, and Rob, I'll just pass this to you after, is that at the early season, security is really dumb. Sorry for anyone if you work in the security for game day. Like some of the restrictions on bag size and purses being see-through, and I've just had dumb experiences there, particularly as like carrying in a baby bag. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just inconsistent, right? Is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, dumb is so descriptive. Yeah, it's very inconsistent, and one person gets in and the other doesn't. And but I would hate it for everyone to be like, hey, look, if the purse is an inch bigger than the stupid little thing that you're carrying to measure it, or like the sign that you have, like, just let the damn person in. Come on now. It's like an inch or half an inch bigger. Anyways, don't get me started on that. And then the other piece is the lines for food, right? Like, that's been a really consistent thing. The lines for food have always been a problem. Starbird is so damn good, and if you don't get it in the first quarter, you're going to sacrifice a legitimate chunk of the game to go and get that. And I think that's a tough sacrifice to make for a lot of people. So in general, that's sort of been my only issues with it. Otherwise, I have like great experiences, and I don't have access to any fancy clubs or anything like that. Like, I go and sit in bench seats like everybody else, and experience the game like the same exact way. Other than the fact that Rob hangs out with Ron Rivera.
I mean, you can too. It's just you weren't there this week,
And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know, Rob, like, because you're photo, so do you even experience it the same way?
I guess in a little bit of the same way. Like, I'm not experiencing the food like you. I mean, but you've also been in the press box with me, so you know what press box food is like. And so we've had this discussion on press box food and what needs to change in that regard.
It's tragic. It's tragic.
But I think from a game day experience, yeah, I think what you say is right. I did have a nice little moment with the security guard who checks the bags at media will call. Like, I went through. I have a new hard case, right? So it's like I had a carry-on sized hard case last year. I got a bigger one because I got a new lens and I wanted to offload some of the weight off of my backpack and just put it in a roller case. And I'm like, I get in there, and usually, Andy, you have to put it on that table, right, before you go through the metal detector, so the lady can look through your bag and just make sure you don't have any, illegal things. And I'm like, can I actually just move it around the metal detector, and you guys can come look at it, because I don't want to put it on the thing for you, and you also have to like shift it down the table so I can pick it up off that table once I get. And she was like, yeah, perfectly fine. I go over there, she's like looking through it. And she's like looking through it. She's like, what is all this stuff? Because, a lot of the stuff was, wrapped for just protection purposes. And I'm like, it's camera equipment. And she's like, okay, yeah. So all of this stuff is camera equipment? I was like, yeah. And she's like, it's not a bomb, right? And I was like, nope. And, and she was like, well, it's not going to be him. He just has camera stuff. And then she like let me go. And so for me, it's just a hilarious moment, because definitely, like, if you looked at my camera bag and you opened it up and you're not like a camera person, you could just be like, well, I mean, you could probably make a bomb out of all this stuff that's in this
wow,
in
this really took a turn, Rob.
Yeah. but yeah, I think for me, the experience stuff is those types of things, right? Like I personally love having turned into doing more photography stuff, because Andy, you've noticed this, but like when I get out on the field and I'm like shooting, like I've gotten to know so many people because I'm on the field, and so there's just so many people that I have to like say hello to, and like do some greetings and do a little bit of small talk, and also just like have some inside jokes and fun with. And so that's my game day experience, is just getting to catch up with all these people that I don't really see on the regular, but I get to see on game days, and they're all great people. So that's kind of my game day experience that hasn't really changed over like the last 3 or 4 years.
Love it.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, Golden Bears, if you have any specifics, once you listen to this, let us know, and we can tell you some of the specifics. Next one's from Scotty Moe. He's got 4 questions for us. First one: wide receiver struggled to get separation, catch balls. Level of concern for this group.
Covered it.
Covered it. Yeah. We talked about the catching balls, but are you concerned for the separation? I wasn't really concerned about the separation.
No, it didn't jump out to me on film, but I'd have to go like really look at it. I didn't notice it the same way. So yeah, I can look for it this weekend.
I didn't notice it when I was shooting on the field, and when I was looking through my pictures. A lot of the ball catches, the guys were wide open. So, and Jaron also throws them open, as Ron alluded to, and we've seen that for the last 2 games. Next one, running back high looks slow and fumbled. Loved Raphael's cut and speed. Should he be our number 1?
Yeah, I mean, I actually look. Who am I to say? I'm not. I am so slow these days, and I am. I'm old and slow. So I don't know if I can call anyone slow, but I just think that high tends to run like very straight up and down. And what I missed when I was watching the Oregon State game was like the jet or the Jaden that could really be like more shifty. Mm-hmm. And I really felt like I totally agree with like Raphael's cuts and speed, and should he be the RB1? I think so.
Yeah. I think I was talking to Peter about this after the Oregon State game and also after the Texas Southern game. And I think my description of the running backs this year is we don't have a guy that can probably take a 10-yard gain into a 40-yard gain, but we have a bunch of guys who can take a 2-yard gain into a 7-yard gain.
Fair.
And that's probably all we need, really, for this offense to work. That's just my...
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I really don't think you need more than that.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on. Jet and Ott not making an impact. Mistake by both? ? I mean, look, it's only a mistake because their seasons aren't panning out the way that it was. I'm sure if they knew that this was going to happen, then they might be second guessing. But you're always betting on yourself when you make this type of move, right? So I think a couple. Well, I check in to see how these guys are doing, and I have personal relationships with some of these guys, so I never want to see them be bad. Like they made the move for their career, and it sucks, but like it's certainly for Cal fans at least. I think is one of those things where they look at it and go, well, should have just stuck around. Like, so I get why people are saying that, but also I'm just kind of like, well, they made their decision, and I don't think we need to hound them and say it was a mistake.
I have a hot take, Rob.
All right, what is it?
It wasn't a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake?
No,
Oh.
it wasn't.
Okay.
Again, I just think like we don't even know how much money are we talking about here? $2.5 million. It is a substantial amount of money.
Oh, for Ott, for the Ott move.
Yeah, and I don't know what Jet got.
Yeah, and also Ott's alleged, right? Like we don't know how much he's actually.
No, I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
I'm just guessing. Yeah. But like $2.5 million. There was a unique point in time where a market existed that wasn't going to exist in the same way going forward, and a lot of people took advantage of it, and I can't blame a single one of them. I probably would have done the same thing. Like, it's easy for me to be like, no, I loved Cal, and I would have never left, but I didn't have someone in my ear saying, hey, here's an additional $1.5 million. Like, that's a very different situation than anything most of us have ever been through. So I just, there's no way, I have no idea how I would react to that. If someone had told me you can transfer to Oklahoma and earn $1.5 million, like $1.5 million, I loved my friends at Cal. I probably would have taken that offer. I don't even know if I would have thought about it. $1.5 million? Like, and that's different because I'm going from, $0 to 1.5. And Jaden's going from some money to more money. But again, it's like, he could be set for life. It's just sort of, to me, it's like, he graduated. I can't hold anything that Jaden did against him. He stayed with us for 3 years. He graduated. He took advantage of a market inefficiency. And I don't care if he plays third string for the rest of the season. I think it was a good decision. I think, like, we should support people that make good financial decisions in their lives. I think that was a good one. It sucks for us. Would I prefer that he be on the Cal team? Of course. But, like, good for him.
Yeah. It's like it's weird because it's like the financial and the football decisions are tied, but also when answering a question like this, like was it a mistake, you kind of have to separate the two. Like, was it a mistake financially? Probably not. But was it a mistake for football reasons? As of right now, maybe. Like,
yeah, agree.
But once again, when the decision is being made, it's made with both. But I think when we're analyzing it, we kind of have to separate the two.
We just don't know. Like, yeah. So I can plug my new company. So Pave Data, we just published this data that says if you have more than one manager in 1 year, you're much more likely to either be fired or quit your job, right? So like Jaden had 2 coaches in 1 year. Like, to me, you also don't know that side of it. There was like clearly a lot of people that like didn't vibe with something, right? We lost the entire room. You'd think one person would have stayed for some playing time. We lost the entire room. So it's also what could be as simple as just like, hey, a new coach came in. I stuck it out through spring. And I made a decision. It was just like, hey, I'm graduating. Someone's offering me a ton of money. I'm not really sure if I vibe with this dude anyways. Like, it just doesn't seem like that hard of a decision. And I think we from the outside are like, how could it happen? It's an NCAA problem. Like, at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with Jaden and everything to do with the NCAA. And it's absolutely bananas. All this stuff that is like, could be a whole other ranting podcast for me. Everything that's happening with Steve Ballmer and the Clippers is hilarious to me. Why is it hilarious? Because we have a perfect example where all of that is allowed, which is college athletics.
Yeah.
I can go to any dealer and say, here, sign a contract with my player and pay them $28 million, and they're not going to do anything for me, and that's okay. And guess what will happen? He'll come to your school and he'll play football for you for 2 years. Oh, and by the way, if he goes anywhere else, this contract is null and void. Everything that we find ridiculous and outrageous about that in professional basketball is all legal under the system in which these guys were operating in, which is crazy. It's crazy. The DeAndre Jordan story about the Lexus dealership, that can happen in college football. It cannot happen in any other professional sports. It's wild. We're living in an unprecedented time. Unprecedented.
And all this happened within like a 2-year frame.
Yes.
Which is like crazier.
Because the NCAA just said, throw the paper in the air. Well, we don't know. Just do what you do.
You guys do it.
You guys figure it out. An amazing governing decision. So we should just be mad at the NCAA. I think it's just so much easier. They are wildly bad at their jobs.
And it's been like that for a while.
It's been that way for a while.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on because I don't want to let Andy just keep ranting.
I agree.
Next, the last one from Scotty Moe. Gold out game projection. So you know that this week the Minnesota game is a gold out game, right?
Today I learned that.
Mm-hmm.
Just now.
Yeah. The cool part about this is actually smart. People are like, why would you do a gold out game? Like, no one wears gold. But, like, if enough Cal fans wear gold, like, Minnesota's fan base is also, like, the maroon and, like, yellow gold color. And I've seen a lot of their attire. Like, it's very heavily skewed towards the yellow and gold of theirs. So the stadium could end up looking pretty nice with the colors out. But it's just, you need to go get something that's gold. And even at the student like store on campus, there's just not a lot of choices.
Whoa. I'm rocking I could have my Zach Follett. Is that really all I have? I think that's all I have.
But you and I have years of this accumulated. I'm saying, like, if you're a fan right now and you, like, don't have anything gold and you want to go get something, there aren't a lot of options.
Yeah. I haven't looked, but let me tell you, there's not a lot of cheap options.
There's not. Well, it's either very cheap or very expensive. There's no middle ground.
Yeah, but you never go
basics.
Never go champion cheap. Never go champion cheap. You only get to wear it once.
Yeah, for their shirts and stuff. Yeah, but I have their windbreaker and I still wear it, so it hasn't ripped. But yeah, I think it'll be a good one. Andy, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be a fun out for the look around the stadium?
I hope so. I don't. Something tells me I don't think so. But what was the attendance for Texas Southern?
I believe it was like 35,000, 36,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. I don't think it'll be fully sold out.
Yeah, it's a night game, but it is Minnesota, so we'll see. But yeah, night games are harder. Which you'd think it's weird. You'd think night games in the earlier part of the season would do better than night games later on because it gets colder and it gets darker faster. But weirdly, they kind of don't do as well. But yeah, okay, we'll move on. Kevin Mwang says, I haven't heard any reports or pictures of Cal's new Black Bear area. I'm assuming it didn't take off for this past week against TSU. I love the marketing concept, and maybe it'll take time. Do you foresee any positive momentum in creating a black hole light at Memorial?
Yeah, I need your perspective here. I was actually going to ask you that. Did you see it? Did it exist?
It exists because I know the location in which they were sitting in, and as I said earlier, they were supposed to be at a tailgate next to us, but only a couple of them showed up. I think my read on that probably is that this marketing partnership just happened a little too late in the game week for Texas Southern. So against Minnesota is probably the game I'm going to look at and say like a good gauge of what that's going to look like going forward. The question I have is like if those fans like Andy, those fans, they wear like the shoulder pads with like the cones to look like spikes and all that stuff. I don't know how you get that into the stadium. Like
neither.
That's a big part of like their entire like fandom and what makes them the black hole, right? So like how are you giving them like special, entrances to be able to take in all of that attire and stuff? Because if that's the case, and we end up building that out, that would be cool. But if they just look like a bunch of average fans, just happen to wear black T-shirts, then like it takes away from the entire reason behind you naming it like a black bear area or a black hole area.
I think you got to do it like TSA pre-check, some sort of like pre-screening. You're right. There's no way. I mean, if we're worried about purses that are being fingernail too big, then I don't know how you get in spikes on the top of shoulder pads. Yes, I agree with that. That's a great point. But probably like TSA pre-check, pre-screen them and allow it in.
Yeah, or like, the student entrance, right? Like the students have their own entrance to get into the stadium. Kind of make like a side entrance just for them. Or maybe let them use the media entrance and you just kind of let them in through one of the side doors. But yeah, you have to do something. Otherwise, they're just a bunch of fans that are wearing black T-shirts with a white, walking bear spray painted on. Need some sort of differentiating factor.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, even Marshawn gave them a call out. It's like calling out the black hole and the old silver and gold, even though they left, the Raiders left for Vegas. Like, Berkeley's making a spot for them, and so here we are, and we'll find out this Saturday. The last one from Bear the Pain, he says, how much of that game was experimenting with personnel / rotations / opening up the play call?
I don't know. 60?
60%?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was opening up the play calling, but I think, Andy, let me ask you this. Do you think the play calling from this week, in terms of the menu, right, of what they had ready and available, was the play call sheet vastly different from the Oregon State game?
Yes.
So
I know that you're going to tell me no, because you're going to tell me that the whole second half we ran against Oregon State, but it's probably about a 1/4 difference.
I think I think you're right. I think it is drastically different because it's the type of run plays we were running. I think a lot of them were designed runs, but whereas with this, there was a lot of option. There's a lot of times where Jaren could pull and run if he wanted to. So I think it's more of a they used this set of plays and gave Jaren the snaps, because you don't want to give too many types of plays to your true freshman quarterback, right? So you gave this set of deep passes and so on in the first game, and then in the second game it's a lot of short intermediate passes with a lot of option plays, so he gets maximum amount of snaps of that in a live game. That's my take.
I like that take. I support it.
Yeah. I think we're good. There was one question I did want to pose to you off the back of this, which was with the drops, like, because we're talking about the drops with wide receivers, right? And you and I have been in those press conference rooms with Wilcox, and he's talked about how he wants to build a culture of competition and so on. Why don't you think we've seen maybe some of the younger wide receivers out on the field with some of these veteran guys struggling with these drops and catching the ball?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob. I thought we did rotate more wide receivers in this game.
We kind of did. I mean, I'm looking at this. So the starters are listed as Hamper, DeJesus, and Trond. We got Quaron Adams. I'm probably butchering his name. Jaden Dixon Veal and Jordan King. And so we got Jordan King also, and Isaac Torres. Isaac Torres played against Oregon State. I think Jordan King played a little bit too. So we got two more wide receivers in. Although those guys played late in the fourth. So, what are your thoughts?
Wilcox is proven to be a coach that just likes the older players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I
You
mean,
think
maybe
he's just
it's
going with
maybe
experience.
it's as simple as that. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing. I'm like, why didn't we rotate in? I think once you get up 20, mid 20 to 0, I really do feel like there was an opportunity to play more young guys. It just isn't something that Wilcox really does all that often. Like even in the games that we dominate.
Yeah.
Give me a second here, because there was a clear point when we're up 11. Okay, so 14. So you're up 25, and then once you score, I think is it 28, right? You're up 28 nothing.
You're up 28. Yep.
And we still had starters in. Like, that's Wilcox for you, but it wouldn't be how I do it.
It's also why we're not the coach.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a better reason, but I it just struck me as good opportunity to get some guys some playing time, and Devin kind of looks like he needs some playing time, so I would love it if we did that a little bit more often. But I don't know. I'm excited. We'll come back to that one after this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's something that we can definitely look back at and see if there's been any changes. Well, that's it for it. That's it for this episode of the Golden Tweets. Andy, one thing I'm going to share with you on the fly here before we close out is they just added new jerseys to the Cal Bears website, like the Cal Bears shop, the online store. I'm going to show this to you. Yeah. Look at this. Look at these away and home Joe Roth jerseys. Look at these.
Wow.
Look at that.
Looks very UCLA.
Yeah, it kind of does, huh?
The white looks very UCLA.
But like, look, this. So like, I'm just gonna say this because we're looking at the screen. But this is the Joe Roth looking away. But then this is our way right now.
Dude, I didn't realize that the Deshaun replica just went on clearance. You see that too?
Which one? This
the
one?
White. The Deshaun white one that I have with the old Sather stripe.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that one's sick. People should swoop that. I love that jersey. I have that one.
Yeah, I have the Under Armour version of it. I don't have the Nike version of it. But yeah, I might have to cop this one. I do really.
$130, Rob. Come on, they need to lower that. That's insane.
They're not going to lower it though. Like that's the thing.
They will if you don't purchase.
What like you're looking through this? Which ones have they lowered? The ones that they don't wear anymore.
The Deshaun one.
I know, but they don't wear that anymore. This is dead stock.
That one's dope, bro. You can even get it in blue. It looks like.
I know, but I don't want to wear the ones from the Under Armour era anymore.
All right. Well, this has been the Golden Bearcast, Golden Tweets.
Yes, this is the Golden Tweets. We'll see everyone out there on Saturday 7:30 against Minnesota. Check out Oski Town as well on the Glade. It's going to be a good time. If you see myself or Andy at any point during the day, please come up, say hello. We love meeting y'all and being able to chat with y'all. So, with that, Andy, as always, go Bears.
Go Bears.